This video is going to go all over the place a little bit on a topic that I've thought about for a very long time, and it just recently came to the surface when someone sold a duct tape banana at Art Basel for $120,000. And this just absolutely blew my mind, because comparing what they used to put on canvas, like Hans Memling's Judgment, to a banana duct taped to a wall that's going to rot and eventually draw flies that someone paid $120,000 for. That is an absolute atrocity. And I get that the art is called comedian, and I understand the point of contemporary art, but it does not show, I feel, the true human potential of the creative power and the will. And I believe it's being led astray from this to things like a banana on a wall and beyond, a golden toilet. And it's not that. I'm going to talk about Art Basel and a bunch of other things and show how did we get from artwork like this that talked about the divine, dealt with the divine, dealt with the beautiful, everything was perfect, things were really respectful, they were really formal, they were symmetrical, they were dedicated to the beauty, the mysteries, the goddesses. They revered the human body, the human spirit, the mind. They were positive, they were enlightening, they were unbelievable, and when they were dark they were still beautiful. And beauty is a thing that is inherent in every one of our minds. Our eyes, our bodies recognize it, we love it, we crave it, we yearn for it. So what happened that led us here? And the whole cell phone craze is another concept entirely. But this guy, Maurizio Catalan, you got to give him, I guess, some credit for getting $120,000 for this, but there's also a dark side to this type of artwork. For instance, what does this infer? What's the meaning? What boundary are you really pushing with this kind of art? Desecrating life forms, desecrating the ideas of, putting rotten ideas into the public, and making them an art form, and having millionaires and billionaires around the world glorify this stuff. And like, you know, and who actually creates this? There's teams. This is a Pinocchio for, what is this, almost 2.5 million euros? That is unbelievable. How did we get to a point where this stuff is revered and valued at far more than what some other things that people put a lot of time, effort, meaning into it, and things that make you think, things that make your body resonate and harmonize and feel beautiful, things that make you dream. Like, if our dreams were made of this, the world would be a nightmare. The art world, the creative realm, is a lot better than what they're trying to make it seem like. This stuff is disturbing, unnecessary, and just downright wrong. And look at some of these things, the Atheist Awards, all these different kind of films. They're very telling, this one right here. Take a look at where his documentary got awards. Very fascinating. And we're all given these two hands, these blessings from the divine, from our Creator. Each thing has energetic senses to every millimeter. Every micron of our body is magnificent and perfect. There are artists that are expressing this divine all over throughout time, and these artworks still stand the test of time today and keep people in awe. Nobody looks at their phone and looks at Hieronymus Bosch's Garden of Earthly Delights in the Prada in Madrid. Nobody. Unless they're maybe taking a picture of it. Dali worshipped Gala, even though she was tough to him. Alex Gray nowadays makes beautiful, enlightening visions of positivity, and they affect people on such a deep level. Why is this not mainstream? Incredibly. Why are not a lot more of those artists really getting the credit they deserve, when in fact a lot of the artists that are doing this throughout time, the art world and the money that's gone into these specific negative areas is neglecting beauty. Lawrence Alma Tadema, this is pure beauty here in moments of serenity. And there are still artists doing some of this stuff, and I must say that I do, I had a beautiful moment here, a lot of beautiful moments. And I must say that I do respect every artist, I respect everyone that takes this path, and because it is a tough one. I respect every one of you, I love every fellow human, except those who deliberately try to make this world more evil and gross and pathetic than it is. It's a beautiful place. Art should reflect that. Popular art should reflect that. Art Basel should have been a lot different, and we'll go into that in a bit. But first I wanted to show you the arc Now this one took me about 9.5 months, 1,250 endangered animals, and I was just at a show last night which had hundreds, maybe thousands of people walking by. So many people stopped and asked me about this and were blown away by it. So many, hundreds out of the thousands. Like, it was a standout piece, and no one bought it for 125 bucks, 10 cents an animal. But yet duct tape. The next day I find out that a duct tape with a banana duct tape costs this much at Art Basel. It's pretty ridiculous. And I'm not making this video out of jealousy, envy, rage, anything like that. I actually find it funny. You have to have a sense of humor to be an artist today. But I find it also a little disturbing in many different ways. And, you know, this is one of the opportunities that I was emailed by one of the few, kind of a few different galleries that wanted to, you know, they send out emails to try and get people to put their art in Art Basel. So look at some of the sizes of these things, like 65 centimeters, so many hundreds of dollars, all this just to mention your name online, like money, cha-ching, cha-ching, oh, to our Twitter feed, 1,000 euros, like it's absurd the amount of money that people try to gouge out of artists, and it's ridiculous. I couldn't afford any of these things, and yet, so keep that in mind when you look at the space coming up, because some of these walls are filled with nothing, and they could be filled with so much more. There are amazing artists on Reddit and all over the world that are doing beautiful things. This is the site where I got the pictures from. So there are a lot of people out there doing beautiful things, and this is interesting too, because these guys are doing sand art with roulette tables, and it looks like they're at a casino. And take a look at everything around you in these pictures. It's very fascinating, and then compare it to these kind of experiences, these holy sacred things, and you know, it may be kind of comparing that in some way, but it's still dedicating their time to a roulette wheel and gambling. And this is about the divine nature, the bardo, the land beyond time, everything. Oh, a big difference. The power of these things that they are trying to kind of force on us or make us think is, you know, it doesn't seem like people are buying it, but think of the differences between that and these. The S1 obelisk in Egypt, the effort that went into carving that and building that and raising that was a true historical, whoever did it was a true historical achievement. These carvings were probably covered in paint and metals. They were true artworks. Imagine if the Tower of Babel were to be built nowadays with our modern artists. What would we get? A giant, like, ding-dong? Like, who knows? A pile of garbage, a pile of trash, or something weird that's satanic? Like, some of these things are really very interesting, and, you know, they reminded me of certain ancient things, so I'm going to splice some different pictures in here. But, you know, this one is actually kind of reflective of this, the idol of the devil. And there's a lot of Satanism, a lot of atheism pervading our popular culture, invading our popular culture, and trying to eliminate God. That's why a lot of the promoters of God and these, you know, these things, what do we know? We know nothing but like about who truly runs this realm of existence. But an art is supposed to be kind of to reflect our experience and try to help us, guide us to sacred experiences that show us these things that we can't see, but we can only imagine. But these sculptures, what? Compared to this, different things, and these are thousands of years old, and they look amazing, and they took effort, and they had meaning, and they had symbolism, and they were dedicated to certain things. And these were only the artists that were kind of forced to do the priests. All these artists are free to do whatever they want, and look what they're creating. I can't even imagine if you were to give the Valley of the Gods sculptors just here's all this sculpting equipment, here's millions of dollars, let's see what you create. They would have done something unbelievable. They wouldn't have plastic palm trees hanging upside down, or giant Nike shoes, like what? Different revolving curtains. This guy looks like he's never touched a curtain in his life, and this looks like almost like a broken Tartarian puzzle. But yet or a church, but they're destroying those all the time. People are destroying those, and nobody cares. But it's a little piece of it someone crafted as an exhibit. Like, some of these things are just, they blow my mind. And again, I mean, no disrespect to the artist, but our humanity, our imagination, the future of our children's imagination is all at stake. And the way, this is the 70s plus names of God written in one's giant mandala, like, oh my Lord. You know, and just like how good music and beautiful, talented, intricate, awesome, harmonizing music can vibe with your soul. Same as art, beautiful art, the blobfish, but beautiful art and amazing things that make you think and make you question everything and maybe connect with something in your distant past, connect with a dream, connect with anything, things that take a lot of time, things that you're blown away with the effort that someone put into something. Those, look at these, like artwork that takes effort, takes time, takes thought, has meaning, has power, is unmistakably more just resonating with the soul of everyone. Hey Martin. And there's no denying it. And so to kind of convince people that these simplest things, these almost trash-like things are the equivalent of that, or are what humans are only capable of, or are the new thing that's going to make you a millionaire, or are, is really, where is it taking us? What boundaries are they trying to push? Who's behind this stuff? And like, why aren't we? I did see some things that I liked, and I'll show you later. But like, even just like talent-wise, like, it doesn't look like people even spent that much time on a lot of these things. And I get that like they did and something, but I don't know. Personally, they don't make me think anything. And I know a lot of people, maybe they can infer a lot from this. But all I'm saying is that I think art and humanity and creatives should be dedicating a lot more time to different masterful things. Broken glass, and this, like what do you think of this? Is this going to be the next like masterpiece? These are the streets of like random street photos from LA and San Francisco. Like, are they trying to, like, I can't even, sometimes you can't see the difference. And a lot of times you can, but it just doesn't make sense. It's really an interesting world. It almost seems like a game that they're trying to play to just destroy art and take over the realm of the artists, and stop us from doing this kind of stuff, stop us from dedicating like our lives to something masterful and an enlightening experience and discovering those energetic waves. And construction site, these guys are staring at it like it's something amazing. I don't understand. Boxes, go to a warehouse, go to an Amazon warehouse and have a blast. Like, is that the next gallery opening? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. And maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I really feel like I would love for the art world to just embrace things that, embrace the imagination again, get back to the spirit, get back to the beautiful, go back, let's have a renaissance of something that's great. Something that's inspiring, something you can take your children to. I wouldn't want to take my children to this. They'd be like, what is going on? I want to take them to a beautiful place, Elizabeth Gardner Museum or the Museum of Fine Art in Boston. Art modern nowadays has to be more, it just has to become something that it's better. It's better than that. Like white walls, what's the point of getting a white canvas? Like, how do these get on there? And remember the space. Remember how that would be about 20,000 euros for like one of those to have, but these people are probably invited, and and again, no disrespect to the artists, it's just kind of what people have been taught in the schools. I kind of do blame the schools a lot of the time. I've seen the effect of how a teacher can sway an entire classroom of kids to do art a certain way, and I don't like that. I like people being able to express the freedom, encourage everyone to become a self-taught artist. You can learn from people, but look at this, it looks like a 2-year-old. But you can learn from people, learn from masters and stuff, but to take your own path. And I can tell that school has ruined a lot of thought, a lot of people's beautiful, pure thoughts, and that shouldn't be either. And there needs to be money thrown into the right directions in the art world. And Alex Gray's always trying to get donations, and I've been on the poverty line forever, and happy as a clam, happy as anyone could possibly ever be, happy than probably any billionaire out there. But as long as my health is good and I'm able to art and family and friends are okay, then I'm doing great, perfectly. I think everything's perfect, and my art reflects that. And maybe these artists, this is their art reflecting and what their inner soul, but I'd like to give them the benefit of the doubt and say that I believe they're all more beautiful and capable of so much more. I want them all to push themselves to limits. Everyone should be pushing the artistic boundaries, and these were the artworks that I really liked from Art Basel. There weren't too many that I saw that I really loved, but I loved these ones. I thought they take time, they take effort, they give me a feeling, they make me think, they make me admire, they make me inspired. They're what I really feel. They're unique. It's unique. And I got to respect that. Good colors, good ideas, I respect that, and I acknowledge that everybody has their own personal taste. That's the beautiful thing about art, and I don't want to be a critic. And you know, I saw some of the critics in some of those videos, and I don't want to be anything like that. You know, I like criticizing. I like observing all art from every angle, every style, and every time period, because you really find out what was important in the past and what they needed to preserve and why they wanted to preserve it. Their intentions were very clear. Nowadays, their intentions are not so clear. Are they just trying to make a joke? Are they trying to destroy the beauty of art? Are they trying to just please people in suits? Or are they trying to turn everything into art, like the kind of like everybody gets a trophy kind of mentality? Or, you know, are they really just out there for money and to impress and to shock people on the internet? That's not really what these guys were doing it for. Piranesi was out there sketching, etching into copper, doing incredibly time-extensive work in order to promote the miracles of what happened in our past to people, and to make them realize that there was so much more, and that the people that may have been just like us, you know, maybe they were giants, maybe there was something else, maybe they were gods, but whatever they were, they lived on the same plane of existence as us, on this same world, and they were capable of doing masterful things like this. These took so much effort, we can't even fathom how they were built today, but they were, and they're here, and they stood the test of time, and they've helped inspire artists throughout all over the world, throughout time, to try and accomplish these things and obtain these skills that almost seem divine and godlike and inhuman, because they're so good, they're so meticulous, they're so well thought out, and their intentions are in search of the divine. We need to do that again, and this is one of my artworks called Save Earth. This took over 2 years. It's about 6 feet by 5 feet, all drawn in hand-drawn ink, and its intention is clear: save Earth. It's got all kinds of animals written all over the place there. Some of them are discovering the universe, some are writing, some are embracing love, family, breathing, doing all different kinds of amazing, essential things for Earth. And this drawing was to inspire the youth and people of all ages to really appreciate the animal world and the miracles that are around us, and, you know, to see that there's so much more to this place than we are meant to be. And this took time, this took effort, and I'm not saying that it's better than anything else, but effort and skill and time are really important in the art world, and especially intention. And I know I'm no masterpiece, I'm no Da Vinci by far. You know, I use Sharpies, I use paint, I use whatever. I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but I do know my intentions, and I know why I draw certain things, and I know how much time I dedicate towards it. And, you know, I live out of my art, and, you know, everything I eat, $10 is a print, $5 is a gem, you know, $100 for a print like this that I've been trying to sell for like a year and a half. And it's a struggle, and food costs a lot of money, and everything costs a lot of money. And, you know, to make artwork, to make the art world geared towards these kind of trash-like things that are raising $120,000 or more or less is nuts. It's backwards. It's a deliberate misrepresentation of what the art world should be, what creativity should be, and children should be inspired. Everyone should be inspired to push themselves to their creative limits and beyond. And a renaissance really needs to occur, because our media, our entertainment systems are just geared towards bringing us down, making us not realize what's good, depression, hate, division, all that stuff. And the art world is just the next victim in this process of sacrifice, that they want to eliminate the good and the beautiful and the divine in humanity nowadays. You know, they want it to be stagnant, but we can't let it happen. It's time for the artists to step up. I know there's amazing artists out there all over this world, on Reddit, in every continent, in every state, every city. It's time for us all to fight back and push back against this nonsense of contemporary art that's just creating value out of nothing. We need to put value back into art and make everyone and everything beautiful and perfect. These artists of the past dedicated every waking moment to create visions that would preserve the magic throughout time, and we are doing a disservice to ourselves and humanity in the rest of the future by letting these things go away and replacing them with things that require very little effort, very little skill, and are just there to shock. That's not what art's about. Art's supposed to help people, guide them to the next realm and beyond, and make everything perfect. Bless everyone. You all are the greatest. Everyone get creative.